I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai Bahashim, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and say peace, mercy, and blessings to the hopeful elect. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means he exists or he is to be. The true name of the Son is Yahushai, which means he is the deliverer. We are the Hebrew Israelites. There's 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Today, we're being so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, Latins, Hispanics. Okay, but we're those people that make up the lost 12 tribes. The self-proclaimed white man, they're not white, they're red. They are the Idumeans or the Edomites according to the Holy Bible. According to Bible prophecy, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. And Esau's kingdom is Babylon the Great, which is slated to be destroyed by nuclear destruction. Okay, this is a video from Band.video. As you can see, a reporter from Springfield, Ohio, confirms Haitian migrant invasion and that geese are being eaten from the park. So what you have here in Babylon the Great, which is good old USA, is the shit is hitting the fan. Okay, there's so much to talk about. There's so much going on. Call it Loyum La, Yahweh Shem Shai. And what we're witnessing is the downfall of the wicked, the downfall of their kingdom. Okay, and this should bring joy to you. Okay, because as I said before, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that follow. Okay, so I'm going to play this video, which is pretty much breaking down the Hegelian dialect, problem, reaction, solution, also known as what? Ordo Abkeo, because this is what this is all about. Okay.
Georg Hegel was a German philosopher who came up with a basic system for achieving the goals of the Illuminati called the Hegelian dialectic. This system is based on 3 steps. In step 1, a rogue government will create the problem that harms or even kills its own citizens. This deception is known as a false flag attack.
And this is what's going on right now. See, right now, they're with them, allowing these migrants to come in. And it seemed like the so-called Haitians came out of nowhere, because just a few days ago, or maybe last week before that, we're hearing about what? Trinidad Ragra. Okay, which is a very well-known gang from Venezuela, and now they were taking over. Now they were going to go to Chicago, and you had the gangs of Chicago warning them there's going to be war, and they were down there in Texas, and then out of nowhere, you got Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio. You see, so the problem that they're creating is that they're prioritizing these migrants over you American citizens, granting them housing, granting them access to cars, granting them high amounts of EBT so they can get food. Americans are struggling right now. Average American has credit card debt, to the fucking to the moon. Has surmountable debt to the moon. Can't afford their rent, can't afford food, can't afford their heating, can't afford bare necessities, and then you got these migrants that are coming here, and everything is just being handed to them. So that's creating a lot of anger. We're a couple months away from election. Okay, it's super turned up, man. Okay, the end of this year is going to be on fire, going into 2025, and this is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble.
In step 2, a rogue government will control the reaction to the problem which it created.
Right, so the problem that they created is bringing in these migrants, prioritizing them over Americans, and how they want to control it is through the media. See, the media is lying unto you, the different news channels, etc. You have to go to, reporters, okay, on the ground reporters, and alternative news sites to get any goddamn kind of truth. Because you can't trust the media because it's controlled by Satan, and Esau wants to control the narrative and feed you what he wants to feed you to control the reaction. Okay, but yeah, people are on edge. People are heavily armed, and You have the love of many waxing cold out here, man. So you're gonna have some crazy stories coming up, you know.
by typically blaming it on an enemy or some aspect of its own society over which it seeks more control.
Right. And
This
they
is
want
why
to get more control over you Americans, right? And how they want to do that is the MOTB, the introduction of the micro CHIP. Okay, you see, an angle they could use to introduce this thing, man, is that, for us to, these migrants, they're coming in, they're getting access to housing, they're getting cars, food, all of these things are being handed to them while Americans suffer to get it. Okay, so that's a problem. The reaction is outrage from the public. The solution is what? The CHIP, the rights device. Okay, if you want anything that we have to offer, then you have to take the CHIP. Okay, you want access to these cities, you have to have the CHIP. You have to have documents. Okay, is it not written in address that a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to? You know, so they're gonna come down with draconian measures, and it don't really matter who gets in office, man. Okay, because what's gonna happen is gonna happen, and what? Egyptian against Egyptian, martial law. This is what's coming.
The term false flag attack is so named. In step 3, a rogue government will offer the solution to the problem which it created. This solution is typically a war or a system of regulations. The solution would usually...
And that's going to come in the form of the rights device, man. Okay, that's going to come in the form of sea camps. Okay, because when they start rounding these migrants up, you better believe they're going to get you average gangs, you average jakes too. They're going to round you up too, man. Okay.
not be accepted by the public had the rogue government not created the crisis and controlled the reaction to it in the first place.
Right, because they know they couldn't just get people to accept this shit, so they have to create some sort of chaos, which that's being created by these migrants. Okay, and then they're gonna come with their form of order. Okay, which can be martial law, medical martial law, because we don't know how many of these migrants are here.
A government which seeks increasing control can keep...
And these people could be sleeper cells, man. They could be sleeper cells. They could be just waiting to get the order to be activated. They could be UN troops. You don't know,
pushing society to accept its agenda by following a series of problems, reactions, and solutions which it planned all along. The significance of the Hegelian dialectic is not how evil it is, but rather how often governments choose to follow it. There has not been a major war in the 20th and 21st centuries that does not follow the Hegelian dialectic.
All right, so that's all I'm going to play from that. I'll leave the link in the description box so you can further check this video out, and also just do your research on Hegelian dialect, problem, reaction, solution, Ordo ab chao, which is order out of chaos. Okay, that's all you got to do. So now let's go to this video from Band.video, and we're going to see what's happening here in the land of free, home of the brave.
Now, last night, Trump forced this story into the mainstream. And what's funny is now we have other videos from people in Springfield, Ohio, and then police reports. This issue has actually been going on for months, but nobody's been really covering it. I mean, we've covered it here. And then it really went viral after that city commission meeting. And then it got even more viral after a couple of reporters went out there and got some eyewitnesses. Taylor Hansen has gone out there and just done a great job talking to people that live there. He's joining me now from Springfield, Ohio, where this happened. And so last night, though, Taylor, I think Donald Trump forced this into the mainstream. And when he brought up the Haitians in Ohio eating the pets, the geese, whatever it is that's going on. And look, we have the images, we have the videos.
Which we believe that the Haitians are Israelites, from the tribe of Levi. And they were the tribe of the priests, and they also had different offices, with the temple, things of that nature. And what they're saying, or what's being reported, is that they're coming up here and they're eating pets, different animals, things of that nature. And I speak as a man, but I believe that the Most High is bringing the tribes up here. People from Venezuela, people from different parts of South America and these other countries. Those are the Israelites, and a lot of them are being brought here for judgment. But some of them can be of the elect, man, because guess what? There will be 12,000 from each tribe.
We have the police records. We have police phone calls. We have the eyewitness accounts. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming here. But okay, I'll throw it all out the window, and I'll just pretend like I'm a low information Democrat or a no information Democrat that like Kamala Harris thinks that the whole thing is fake news and cackles about it. You've been there for 24 hours. I think I've seen you've done at least 3, 4, 5 interviews. I mean, I've lost count. You've been just pumping them out all day. What have you witnessed? What have you seen? What are the people in Springfield, Ohio saying, Taylor Hansen?
The best way to summarize it is mass amounts of outrage from locals. And not even while I'm interviewing people. I mean, the interviews that I publish, they speak for themselves.
See, that's
a woman finding...
The problem is them bringing in the migrants and prioritizing them over American citizens. The reaction is going to be outrage. But what about when the reaction leads to bloodshed, or Egyptian against Egyptian? What's going to be the solution to that? Martial law. Okay? Peacekeepers, man. Blue helmets.
A decapitated pig head in Snyder Park, which is where these Haitians are apparently going and snatching up these geese and then using them. The locals seem to think it's more on the side for, voodooistic rituals, as that is the kind of predominant religion that is practiced in Haiti. But, I mean, it is true. Everything that I've been documenting, I mean, I'm talking to the locals. These locals have no reason to lie in my mind.
Which that's how we know they're the tribe of Levi, which you do have Simeon or the Dominicans there into that shit as well, Santa Maria. Okay? And then you have voodoo or hoodoo. Okay, which means spirit, but what spirit? The spirits from the left-hand side that they're tapping into to get, power from, or whatever the case may be, and that's off. Okay, the scriptures it says instruments of cruelty, but that's what it's going into, man. Those left-hand sacrifices, all right, to demons, and that's one of the reasons why Yahweh Shem Yahushai be jacking up that country. All right, and jacking our people up because they sacrifice unto devils and not to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay?
And, when you do an interview with somebody, if they, hesitate, sometimes when I talk to people on the street, they go, well, let me think about that answer. With these locals, you don't get that. They have these answers right there in their brain because they've seen this stuff firsthand. And that woman, that interview that you just briefly popped on screen, I mean, she was the one that found the decapitated pig head. She said she doesn't leave her home without a pit bull and a handgun nowadays because of the crime that's taking place. Her car rate insurance has skyrocketed, and I've heard this countless times because there are crashes from Haitians every single day that are happening on the roads of Springfield, and most of them aren't even insured. And,
So a lot of these migrants that are coming up, they're being given access to cars, which they don't have to. They're not being checked for credit. They're not when these migrants go, they're not asking them about your fucking credit score. Okay, you got the money, which they're getting the money from the government. Okay, and do you have insurance? They don't even need to have a driver's license, which explains the vehicle crashes. Okay, so these people are coming up here undocumented, no credit score, and they're getting access to things that Americans are being put through hell to get.
It doesn't even stop there. It continues to sexual assault, to using the bathrooms in public, to using displayed toilets in, local community stores. I mean, I've never heard or seen anything like this in my entire life. And then, last night at the debate, the moderator, if you could even call him that, he says, oh, no, we talked to the city officials. They say none of this is happening. But while I'm on the ground here, he's saying that I'm talking to these locals and they're saying, no, this is happening. We need help here. And this is literally they're all blaming it directly on the Biden administration because they are the ones that have given them protected status here in Ohio.
Well, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some sort of an expert on local government, let's say, power and infrastructure, but the city manager, he said officials, but the only person they could cite was a city manager. And from my understanding, the city manager is more in charge of infrastructure projects, bridges, streets, roads. They're not going into police reports. They're not going into local communities to find out what might be going on. They're just, roads and grids and maps and stuff like that. So, I mean, okay, it's not officials. They had one guy, a city manager. So this whole thing is blown up in their face now. No doubt. They all have egg on their face. And, here's what it is. When we talk about the geese, it's like an American thing. You go to a park, there's geese, there's ducks. People like to feed them. It's just part of our culture. It's part of our thing. We got geese, we got ducks at our parks. You go to a park in Brazil, they have capybaras. They like to hang out with the capybaras. They're all sitting around hopping in the lakes. So it's like if somebody comes up and starts doing that, that's like an affront to our culture. That's an affront to American culture to go kill these geese, kill these ducks. But they don't know any better. They're not assimilated to our culture. They eat animals in Haiti. They see an animal running around, they hunt it down to eat it. And so they just get dropped in the middle of Ohio, and they bring this third world culture. They just see a goose, they're like, oh, that's my next meal.
Babylon is a third world country. Okay, and that's the idea. They're making this place into a third world country. They're dropping. You have different nations such as Venezuela who are dumping their prisoners here. Then on top of that, what about these Chinese military-age fighting men? Where do they go? Okay, because now the focus is on the tribes, Venezuelans and Haitians. But what about the different Persians, the Iranians? Because those people, they blend in. They could blend in with the tribes. They can speak that Spanish real good, and they're here too. So this place is finished. Okay, and yet what's happening is that Yahweh Shem Shai is breaking down these cities. Okay. This is the book of Isaiah 24, verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. And that's going to be due to what? Because of martial law, because of the influx of the different migrants and, prisoners getting out of prison and gang activity. Okay, but through the drugs, through the pestilence, okay, through the invasions. Yahweh Shem Shai is literally breaking these cities down. Okay, to where you have a heavy amount of prostitution, man, raping, drug abuse. People slumped over from Fetty Wap and the various different drugs. Okay, gang violence. Like I watched a video about St. Louis being a murder capital, drugs, violence, death. That's all of it. It's not just the problem is it was cool and it was just where Jake lived at, just in the hood. But now that it's getting to where Esau lived at in the suburbs, now it's a problem. But hey, call all you Yahweh Shem Shai, the Most High is breaking this place down because it truly is a city of confusion, man. Because the laws that apply to Americans, they do not apply to legal immigrants. So they're literally getting away with murder. Okay? The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There's a crying for wine in the streets, right? People are going to want answers, man. Okay? It's because the judgments that's going to come upon this place. People are going to understand that it's divine, that it's from Yahweh Shem Shai. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone, meaning the joy. Yahweh Shem Shai is getting ready to strip all joy, smiles, laughter. And we see that happening now, with all the people that are hitting the internet and uploading videos of them suffering in this economy. The gender war between man and woman. People are lonely. People can't afford to bear necessities. It's just a slap in the face. So what's going to happen? People are going to snap. But people have nothing else to lose. They lose it. And this is the reaction they want. All right? See, in my opinion, I speak as a man, this is an attempt to they're going to make you fucking Babylonians pick up arms, man. Okay? This is 2nd Ezra 15 in the Good News Translation. I'm going to start at verse 14. The world and the people in it are doomed. Yeah, why? Because what? Ultimately, this is just birth pains. The cherry on top is going to be the nuclear destruction. And if you are not part of the elect and you make it that far, you're going to get fucking nuked. It's going to become the lake of fire. Okay? The war that will bring their destruction is very near, which is the third woe and the second coming of Yahweh Shai is going to, and the angels, they're going to bring destruction too. They're also going to deliver the elect. Okay? Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. We're seeing that happen right now. Alliances are being formed. All right, you just had Russia say that if it comes to it, we can just link up with China. Okay? And who you think they're going to go against? The West and its allies. 16. There will be great political turmoil. Yeah, the presidential debate, which has another epic fail, which you can clearly see that Cackling Kamala had a piece in her ear where she was being fed what to say, what not to say, answers, things of that nature. It's a joke. This place is becoming a mocking stock to the other nations. In everyday life here, it's every day it gets worse and worse, man. And yeah, how about Shem El Shai is just warming up. Okay? There will be great political turmoil, which is what we see now, the backlash of the Biden administration. People hate this man. People hate Sleepy Creepy. People hate Trump. They tried to take him out earlier this year. Okay, something else that could happen, they could take this man out. You know, if they put Cackle and Camel up in there, it might be Egyptian against Egyptian that fucking as soon as they announce it. Okay? And there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. It's going to get to a point where people are going to say, fuck the government. Because the government don't give a damn about them. The government cares more about illegals and Ukraine and, you know, the Holy Land in 1948ers than it does its own citizens. So people are not going to care about the government, what they got to say. Okay? 17. There will no longer be free access to these cities, right? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right now, they're just dropping these migrants off sanctuary cities. That's going to come to a halt. Because in order to get access to these cities, you're going to have the rights device. That's what all roads lead to economic meltdown, which that's already happening. Egyptian against Egyptian, martial law, civil war, okay, and the rights device. This is where we're at, man. Okay, so just like Paul said in Peter said in 2 Peter 3, what manner of persons ought you to be? You ought to be seeking Yahweh Shem El Shai, repenting, you know, fasting. You know, right now we're in the Day of Atonement. We're making atonement. You know, we're praying that Yahweh Shem El Shai have mercy on us and forgive us our transgressions, man, so that we don't be caught up in the destruction with you other Americans, you know?
Yeah, well, and it's insane because the amount of money that they're receiving in EBT as well. I mean, the amount of locals that have complained to me that, one, they can't find jobs because they're being replaced by these Haitian workers that are coming in. And two, whenever they go to Walmart, if it's on a day where their EBT cards get refreshed and they get this money again in their account, they literally, these Haitians are going and they have 5 to 15 in a single house. So they're going and they're quite literally clearing out Walmart, and people can't even buy groceries here if it's that time of month. So they all have to rush to Walmart when they know that the Haitians, their EBT cards are kind of refreshing and they're kind of out of money for the meantime. And it even goes to the extent that landlords are literally trying to aggressively buy out American citizens' houses here in Springfield, Ohio, so that they can then sell them to the Haitians and then have 5 to 15 Haitians living in one house because they know that they can get paid more for renting or selling a house to these Haitians. And you see it. I mean, I am in the South Side, which is where the predominantly Haitian population is. And you walk outside and it's nothing but Haitians. You don't really see any white people in this area. And it's crazy because the city has recently they spent $2.5 million. And you go down where the city hall is at, it is a beautiful place. And it's predominantly white folks. You have some Haitians kind of intermingled with them, but the architecture is beautiful. Everything about it is gorgeous. But then you literally drive outside just a few miles to the south side. And I don't want to compare it to slums. I've definitely seen, you know, much worse conditions, but the houses are breaking down. The houses are decaying. Haitians are literally sitting there with 5 cars in their driveway, multiple of them wrecked. And this is just a normal thing out here. So it extends so much farther. And there's a culture clash that we're seeing out here that, you know, I've talked to so many locals and they're saying, no, like these people need to assimilate to American culture. But instead, our city officials are telling us that we need to be accepting of their culture and allow them to be who they are. And they need to be able to practice their culture here, which is absolutely madness. Immigrants historically have come to America because they want to be a part of American culture, because our culture is superior. We're a civilized society. But then when you throw in 20,000 people in an area that in a civilized society, in a civilized culture, and they start snatching geese up at parks, and they start driving these cars and wrecking them on a daily basis. They don't have insurance, and it's just hurting locals around them because they're crashing into them, skyrocketing their insurance rates. The police aren't really able to do anything about it because they don't have insurance. And I've seen this before, reporting on illegal immigration. In Colony Ridge, it's basically a city of illegal immigrants in Houston, Texas, pretty close to where you guys are at in InfoWars. And there's
that's the new development project. That's the new development project they built, and it's nothing but the non-citizens, right?
Exactly. Well, and they all drive around. They don't have driver's licenses. They don't have insurance, and they get in car accidents every single day. And then, Texas DPS will roll up on them and say, oh, well, maybe you can show up to court this day. And then they don't show up to court, and there's nothing they can do. So this is exactly.
So they have illegals. So these illegals are becoming a thorn in the side of you Americans, in which a spiritual, because they are Jakes. And what the scripture says, that Judah shall become a terror unto Egypt. Okay, this is the book of Amos 3 and verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? And the trumpet that's being blown is by the prophets. It's the words of the Bible, the prophecies therein. Okay? It's like it says in 2 Ezra 15, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. Okay? Shall there be evil in a city, and Yahweh Shem Yahushua had not done it? Yahweh Shem Yahushua is bringing evil to these cities. Drug abuse, migrants, okay? Migrants being prioritized over Americans, homelessness, can't forget about that. Winter is here. Okay, right now we're in the fall. Right around the corner is elections in winter, man, and New Year's, okay? Man, we're in the time of Jacob's trouble. The spiritual that the Most High had the apostles named this year the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, because you can see how we're at the beginning cusp of it. Because what happened when the Most High put the spirit on somebody, a mass shooter, to go out and just start mowing these migrants down? They could come with another angle for what? Gun control, which is what they want anyway. They want to disarm you Americans. Okay? This is Jeremiah 30 verse 5. For thus said Yahweh Shem Yahushua power, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And that's what's coming to these streets. A lot of lamenting, a lot of mourning, and a lot of woe. Okay? Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child, right? Men don't have birth pains. They don't have labor pains. Men don't need epidurals. Men don't deal with that pain. Okay? Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. But the pain from what's coming is going to be likened unto that, because that childbirth is is pretty much next to death, man. Very painful experience, but that's the pain that men are going to experience when they can no longer protect themselves or their families, or they're seeing, hundreds of millions, thousands of people being put to death, and you're just afraid. You don't know what's going to happen next. Okay? Verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, and that's the tribes, man. Okay? And that trouble is going to come in the form of mass slaughtering. Okay? 2/3 of our people, they're going to get mowed down here. Okay? And that's the reason why a lot of them are being brought here. They think they're going to have a better life, better opportunity, but it's really for judgment, or either you're part of the elect, which, Lord willing, we're of that hopeful elect, man. Okay? Because we want to be delivered. Okay? But he shall be saved out of it. And the he that's going to be saved out of it is the elect, the chosen. Okay? So with that, I just want to do a lesson, man. So it's a lot going on. Lord willing, I'll be back at it with some more videos. I pray this has been edifying. I'm going to say shalom to the whole elect.